Isaiah Hartenstein's probable injury is giving other Knicks the opportunity to step up to the plate. All that and much more on the Knicks Digest. What's up, guys? It's your boy Dariel from Knicks Digest, and let's hop into today's video. So earlier today, Knicks Videos posted this on their Twitter account, or X if you will. Tom Thibodeau points to Jericho Sims and Precious as players that will need to step up if Hardenstein misses any time. He adds that Julius Randle or OG Anunoby could get minutes at the 5 if needed. So Isaiah Hardenstein's injury, it's right now is being listed as a sore left foot. So Coach Tibbs is probably just wants to he just wants to be a little cautious with Isaiah Hartenstein. But in my opinion, I would love to see Jericho Sims get those minutes a lot more than Precious Achiuwa. Now, on Saturday, when we had the RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickly homecoming game, Precious did have a good game. If you take a look at his stat sheet, he ended up with 18 points, shooting 9 of 10 from the field, and ending up with 11 rebounds. Now, actually, Ben and I and Chris, we were actually at the game together, and a lot of those points kind of seem like garbage minute points. And in other videos that I put out with Chris, I've talked about what kind of player Precious is. Is he a hustle player? Is he somebody that's going to be able to create his own shot? Or is he somebody that literally needs everything like handed to him? In my opinion, Jericho Sims has more experience with the rotation. When Mitchell Robinson was playing, Isaiah Hardenstein was the first big man to come off the bench, and then Jericho Sims was the third string. But when Mitchell Robinson went down with his injury, Isaiah Hardenstein actually wanted to stay coming off the bench. He didn't want his rhythm to be interrupted, and Jericho Sims ended up getting the starting center position. But then Jericho Sims rolled his ankle, I believe it was in Denver, and then he had to go through therapy. And then when he came back as a healthy player, Coach Tibbs, he had him out of the rotation. By the time Jericho Sims was able to play again, that's when OG Anunoby trade happened, including Precious and Malachi Flynn. So being at the game on Saturday, there were some plays where Julius Randle would drive down the lane, try to hand the ball to Precious, and Precious wouldn't be able to handle it. Now, you know, the excuse can be made that maybe some of the passes that Julius Randle was trying to make weren't great. But I've seen this incident in other games where Precious Achiuwa just isn't able to catch the ball, and I'm just not sure of how confident I am in him. Also, the Knicks fan base is in him moving forward. Jericho Sims, 6'10", super athletic. We're not asking him to do much. All we're asking for Jericho Sims to do is just rebound, play good defense, and try be somewhat of a defensive anchor whenever he's in the game. And again, like I said, him being familiar with the rotations, him being familiar with the way Coach Tibbs coaches, Precious is still getting used to everything. He's still getting used to the rotations. He's still getting used to Coach Tibbs' system, which again brings me to my next point, which is the trade deadline. I believe it's February 8th. And again, I feel like the Knicks need to make a move as far as getting another big man. But again, the two positions that Knicks are probably looking towards in the trade deadline, we're looking for a backup point guard and we're looking for a backup big. Now, the videos that Chris and I have been putting out recently, we've been focusing on the guard position. The names being thrown out: Colin Sexton, Jordan Clarkson, Malcolm Brogdon. But we haven't really heard a lot about the bigs that are out there on the market. I know Andre Drummond is kind of in the trade rumor mill. Andrew Gafford from the Washington Wizards is in the trade rumor mill. We just need somebody who's going to be able to back up Hartenstein if Mitchell Robinson isn't able to come back towards the end of the season. We just need somebody who's going to be able to hold down the fort, somebody that's going to be able to help the defense get stops, be a presence at the rim, trying to defend shots, rebounds, setting good screens. We're not really asking a lot from that center position. And I really like Gafford. This season for the Washington Wizards, he's averaging 10.5 points, 7.5 rebounds, 1.6 assists, converting 68.5% of his field goals. I mean, I really like this guy, man. He's, like I said before, super athletic. As far as his intangibles, he's 6'10". He's in the first year of a 3-year, $40 million deal with the Wizards. So that contract isn't bad. And again, all we need is somebody who's going to be able to hold down the fort. We don't need anything special. We're not looking for a Duncan. We're not looking for a David Robinson, a Joker. We just need a big body that's going to be able to hold down the fort. If Isaiah Hardenstein is going to miss a few games, and if Mitchell Robinson is not going to be able to come back towards the end of the season, even though reports do look optimistic. The only thing that sucks is that if they trade for Gafford now during the trade deadline, then all those reports of the Knicks waiting for the offseason, they're not going to have the assets, they're not going to have the chips in order to look for that star. So, even though we need more bodies to hold down the fort, it looks like we may have to just depend on Precious and Jericho Sims and just keep going with what we have, and maybe we just gotta stick through it and see if we're able to get through the dog days of Isaiah Hardenstein missing games. Obviously, Mitchell Robinson is pretty much done for the season, even though he might come back. So we'll see what happens. And this is why I'm a little bit more confident in Jericho Sims rather than Precious Achua. And it seems like Coach Tibbs is really trying to give Precious that opportunity. We'll see what Precious does with it. What's also interesting in that post, if you take a look at the last sentence, he adds that Julius Randle or OG Anunoby could get minutes at the 5 if needed. Now, I that's a little worrisome for me because if Coach Tibbs puts Julius Randle at the 5, that means he's going to be going up against in the regular season. He's going to be going up against the Anthony Davises of the world, the Jokic's of the world, the Embiids of the world. Again, we don't know exactly how much time Isaiah Hartenstein is going to miss. But if Julius Randle is going up against those bigs, that's a lot of wear and tear on his body, and that's absolutely what we do not need. We do not need Julius Randle to be tired by the end of the season because he was dealing with the 5s towards the end of the season. Julius Randle knock is that in the playoffs he hasn't shown up. That season when we lost against the Hawks in 5, Julius Randle was completely taken out of the series. Last season he injured his ankle towards the end of the Cleveland series, and in Miami he was never healthy. So the word is still out on Julius Randle as far as like if he can perform during the playoffs. We know that he's a great regular season player, making the All NBA team 2 out of the last 3 seasons, making All-Star teams. But when it's time to shine, when it really counts, is the playoffs, and depending on how far you go into the playoffs. Now I know Coach Tibbs he's going to use Julius Randle if needed at the 5 because of the amount of bodies. But even putting OG Anunoby at the 5, that's a little risky as well. OG Anunoby is, yeah, I get it. He's known as a defensive player, but putting him at the 5, banging with those big bodies, why doesn't he just use Jericho Sims? Just use Jericho Sims, get him out of the rotation. That way you have a nice combination of Precious Achua and Jericho Sims. As far as if Precious is gonna be able to hold it down, that's a video for another day. But give Jericho Sims the opportunity to get his rotation back, get positions back in the rotation. I would love to see Jericho Sims get back to where he was towards the beginning of the season. Isaiah Hartenstein for the season, averaging 6.5 points, 8.5 rebounds, and 2 assists. Now, what Isaiah Hartenstein is able to bring to the table that Jericho Sims and Mitchell Robinson cannot is Isaiah Hartenstein's ability to play on the offensive end. He is a creator at the top of the key. He can hit the little backdoor cuts, but he also has that floater game. So if Isaiah Hardenstein ends up missing some games that will be missed, Precious Achua seems like he has that ability in him, but we just haven't seen it yet. And I'm not sure if it's because he's still nervous because of the trade. He's still trying to find his way. But hopefully this sore left foot from Isaiah Hardenstein is not a huge injury and he won't be missing a lot of time. But that's it for today's video, guys. Let us know in the comments, who would you rather see start at the 5? Would it be Precious or would you want Jericho Sims? Leave it in the comments. But until next time, guys, I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.